Spider-Man, Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. He can climb, he can run. Look how, here comes the Spider-Man. Everybody now, welcome to a brand new episode of the First Girl Podcast.
I'm very uncomfortable.
Why?
I feel like you have this ritual where you feel the need to sing.
Favour, when I say I'm trying to create a girl group, no one takes me seriously.
What? Girl group of what exactly?
You know, you see Flo? That could have been me, you, and Anissa.
That would never happen. Unless I'm blindfolded and drugged. That would never happen.
We could have been Flo. We were the it girls at school. We were the Flo girls. And she just decided, no.
It really wasn't though. It really wasn't.
You know what? I was listening to Frank Ocean's album the other day. I was like, oh, nostalgic. And I got to thinking about you. And I said, oh, do you remember my beginning of singing? When they made me sing, thinking about it in front of my whole form. Yes.
It's not like to you.
And someone was doing on the table. And I was like, I'm thinking about you. Oh, na, na, na.
No, really, we thought we were that people.
No,
we kept doing auditions.
I even remember one time in drama, someone was like, sing for me.
Yeah.
I said, okay. And I ended up singing in assembly, and it was like the best thing ever. Anyway, how are you, Favour?
I'm good. How are you? Oh, wow. You really need it. Wow, that question. What's going on?
I'm just going through it. Mentally, physically, emotionally, everything.
Do you want to put it into words so I understand what you mean?
I've been leaving the house every day this week.
But it's not what you wanted.
No.
Oh.
Since when? Since when?
Yeah, well, you like to
I don't like to leave my house.
active.
No. Unless I'm getting paid, I don't like to leave my house.
That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. That's not true.
I've been leaving my house.
There's a lot of things that you've done and you're not getting paid for.
Physically, and my body's just not there. It's the time of the month.
I feel like Jen enjoys leaving her house. I don't know what she's talking about.
I hate it.
She loves it.
And you know what's so frustrating, yeah? Because the 2 times I went to church, the bus kept coming late. And it's just like... Anyway, so Favour, what are we talking about today? We'll talk about relationships, guys.
Not relationships like that type of... Basically, we're talking about transactional relationships. Something that we recently observed...
Yeah.
Whilst having a conversation is... We've noticed that a lot of people don't actually have genuine relationships. And that could be friendships... romantic relationships, even family. And it's because there's an element of transactional.
I give, you take, you give, I take. Yeah.
It's like, if you don't give me anything, I'm not giving you anything. And it's like, how did we get to a point where we only give because we receive? Yeah. That's such a sad way to live. Like, so people are almost restricting themselves because like, I'm not going to do it until they do it first. I'm not doing it until you do it. Like, why should I be the first? Like, even like, for example, like even like give birthday presents, giving gifts to your friends. Yeah, or even, not even that. Just saying happy birthday. Yeah, like some people, like, I'm not doing it because they say it to me.
I can't lie. I used to be that person.
And I'm like...
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah.
I feel like ever since coming into Christ, it's definitely... I've been more aware of it, and I think it's because I'm not that type of person. Yeah. So when I have someone come to me and they're doing something like their perspective is transactional in this situation or this relationship. Okay.
Let's all pause and wait for Jen to take whatever she has with her.
You know what? Let me just come out and say, where is it? Fenty Beauty.
What are you talking about?
It makes my skin peel. And I think, so I bought this Fenty lip. Oh my God.
My goodness.
I bought this Fenty Beauty lip gloss, but I didn't realise I bought the heat one that, you know, when you put it on, it makes your lips tingle, and apparently you got, you know, big lips now. It actually doesn't work.
It looks the same.
It looks exactly the same. But I think because of the heat element of it, it just makes my skin...
Yeah.
Anyway, so ever since coming to Christ, guys, I'm delusional today. I don't know what's going on. I feel like, I've noticed it a lot more. And again, I think because with me, I'm not trying to be bait, but something had happened. And when I was talking to, said people involved, I was like, with this situation, I'm not looking at this as if I'm going to do this, you have to give this back to me. If there's going to be some money involved, I want a cut of it. If there's, like, when people come to me for favors or I'm doing something for them, in my mind, I'm never ever thinking, okay, well, after this is done, they owe me £5, or after this is done, they need to do something. Like, I've never ever thought that. And coming now into Christ, it's given me, how can I put it into words? I'm more willing, because obviously, as it says, it's better to give than to take. Mm-hmm. So for me, in whatever situation it may be, I'm always just, I just take. Like, I'm just like, take. So when I come across people or situations or whatever, where it's like, oh, okay, so I've done this for you, but now you owe me something. I'm just like, why?
I think even, do you know what's even crazy is because sometimes we think that because people are Christians, everyone's automatically selfless, but not really. People are still very much selfish. Having a mindset that only gives when they receive is a very selfish mindset to have.
It's not nice.
Because almost like, unless I'm pleased, unless you do something for me first, I'm never going to do anything for you. And there's no element of like caring, genuine care for anybody, because it's almost like I'm only looking out for myself, and if it doesn't benefit me, then I'm not going to do anything for you. How, to me, if anybody has that type of mindset, it's restricting you from having genuine relationships with people. I was about to say, because then people can see that nobody's dumb. Like, and if you're the type of person that's always given because you receive, people would know, and eventually it's like almost like I don't know. It's a very limited like way of thinking, I think.
And you're limiting yourself, and this can be in literally any aspect, like you said earlier, familial, romantic, platonic, whether it's money or an act of service or whatever, it can be in any aspect. You're literally limiting yourself from being able to just experience something and take something that can be like really good for you, or just like the outcome of it can be really good.
And even as a Christian as well, that's not even being selfless, is it? Because we're meant to be selfless, aren't we? We're meant to care for our neighbour. It doesn't say care for your neighbour unless your neighbour does something for you. It says love your neighbour.
What's that quote where it says I rub your back, you rub mine, or you something about backs?
Yeah, scratch your back. You scratch mine.
That's the one. Yeah.
That's not the mindset we have as Christians.
No.
We are meant to be self. We're meant to love our neighbour as we love ourselves. And when you love your neighbour as you love yourself,
you're just willing to give.
You just give. You don't think about what they're going to do for you in return.
And the way that I've been looking at it again, coming at it from like a Christian perspective, is like, even if I give and it might take something away from me, I might lack something, I'm gonna get it back.
100%, and you get it back in a way that might not be the exact form. It might not be the exact way you gave it to the person. It might come back to you in a different way in the future. But regardless, we shouldn't even be thinking like that to try and get anything back. It's like almost like, this is the same mindset people have, especially when it comes to like even like giving in church or like tithe or offerings. People will be like, okay, I want this from God, so I'm gonna pay. It's almost like you're paying for your blessings, and it's so funny how God doesn't work that way. Some people give the smallest that they have, and
they will be blessed,
very much blessed, because they're not doing it from a point of view of like, I'm paying because I have a lot of money. I can pay for whatever I want. I can pay my way through anything. It's like, I feel like that mindset of you give me, I give you works in business. Yeah. But it doesn't work in relationships.
Like normal day to day.
I feel like it's nonsense. Even like going back to even like romantic relationships. I've heard a lot of people mention this whole thing about 50-50. I don't believe in that, you know. I think it's nonsense.
Michelle Obama say that there was a point in her relationship with Barack where it was 80-20, 60-40. Either whichever one was the bigger one was that you can never be 50-50. And I can't remember where I saw this or where I watched it, where someone said that in order for your marriage to last a long time, it's not a thing of, oh well, I cleaned the dishes last night, so you have to cook dinner, or 100%. You have to take the kids out, or have to just do it. Yeah, because you love the person. Just do it. And something kind of going back to, you know, like how my perspective has changed with things like how even if I give and I lack, I'll always receive it back. I realized that coming to Christ, I'm much less attached to things now. I'm just like, I can't, because the way that I view it now is like, at the end of the day, when I die or when Jesus comes back, all these things are going to be left behind.
Exactly.
I'm not going to take it to heaven. In heaven, it's going to be 1,000 times better anyway. So now why am I attaching myself to money or a materialistic thing or a certain situation when at the end of the day, it's not going to matter anyway?
And I think it just eases off the stress of having to calculate what you've done or what they haven't done. Like, imagine having to think, okay, so I've done this X amount of things. I'm waiting for this X amount of things back to me. Like, that's just a very...
And it can also ruin your relationship, because if you're now... Okay, let's say, for example... Okay, let's say when I wasn't working, I had asked you for something that required money. And then I was like, oh, you know, obviously not knowing my situation when it was going to be done, I would be like, okay, as soon as I get paid, whatever, I'll pay you back. Now you're waiting on that. You're holding on to me for that. Let's say I'm now not working for 7 months. Your heart towards me is going to change because you're clinging onto this. Jen owes me £30. So every single time it's like, next time I go out with Jen, I can't even give her money because she owes me money, or I can't even do this for her because she said, I beg.
You know what? I can see that point of view in two ways. If someone has borrowed you money, then they should pay you back.
No, 100%.
If you come to me and say, I want this for this and I'm going to pay you back, then you should meet up to your promise and pay me back.
No, of course, yeah.
But if you see someone is struggling and you offer to help them, I don't think you should be waiting for anything in return because they didn't ask you for it.
No.
And even if, like, as a friend as well, like, why would you see your friend suffering and not want to even contribute and help? Like, even if they become and start making a lot of money, I personally don't think I'm entitled to anything because I did it because I wanted to do it, not knowing how things were going to. Like you just mentioned, it could have been a whole year and the person wasn't working. So am I going to keep waiting for a whole year to be paid back for my kindness?
For £30 with this inflation
to
cost.
pay back for my kindness. Like, if you want to be kind, be kind.
You're
not. No one's entitled to anything. No one has to give you anything because you're a nice person. I'm so sorry. If you're a nice person, it's your choice to be nice, and it's good to be nice because it helps you. You benefit from being nice. As a nice person, you live a life that's more peaceful, because people that are wicked, they live a very hard life. If you're a wicked person, you won't sleep. Trust me. You'll be tormented.
I remember my that one. My colleague, she was telling me about how the house that she moved into, so in her family home and the flat that she lives in now, they had ghosts in there, and how the ghosts would tickle her feet, they'd choke her, they'd do all sorts of stuff.
I'm hearing too many stories about ghosts, man. What is going on?
Wait, I've only talked about ghosts.
No, not you. Someone else. What is going on with Oyinbos and ghosts?
No, but she's not Oyinbo.
Hey, Jesus. This is rude. This is witches. This is witches. No, it's not ghosts. This is witch.
But it got me thinking.
Tickling her feet.
Choking her.
Demons.
They were dragging the blanket off her. But it got me thinking. I was just like,
why is she telling you this?
I don't know. We were talking about demon possession. God knows.
I'm so sorry, but why is she telling you?
I'm assuming because I'm a Christian. She was just like, this is what happened to me.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And she said, I'm going to keep that in. I'm so sorry. Baby, what was her face? I'm 100% keeping that in.
That's rude. Why would you do
that? I'm doing that.
I don't care.
I'm doing it for clicks and views.
Whoever that person was, why are you messaging me? I'm recording. Don't interrupt me. Thank you. This is serious business here.
But yeah, and I'm just like, that got me thinking though. So these ghosts, they're real then?
No. Yeah.
Oh.
Unless people are making it up, but it's real. No. I believe that there's a lot more. The spiritual world is 100% real.
Yeah.
I feel like what we see is not even
close
to
anything.
Like, we're only seeing the things that is meant to be seen, but most of the things that happen in this life is mostly spiritual. Because a lot of things, think about it, so many things don't make sense. And things that don't make sense, if you don't have answers for them, there has to be an answer. Things don't just happen for no reason.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you don't have the answers, which means there's another answer that we're just not aware of. Does that make sense?
Oh, you weren't there, were you? Did you? Sorry.
Are you gonna?
No. I'll cut it out. On Sunday service, when Rev was talking about his trip from France to here and how the carriage thing and he's just like, I don't know what happened.
I was actually in that service.
You were?
Online.
I saw you. You were. Yeah. I saw your name pop up. But yeah, even that, like, unexplainable, but you just have to believe.
Yeah, there's so many things that happen. Wait, let's feel like this. But there's so many things that happen that we don't have answers for. Then there's another answer. So I genuinely believe the spiritual world is very real. Girl. And the amount of people that talk about it, then that means everyone's crazy. Think about it. So many people talk about this experience that they have. Is everyone mad then? How are people so imaginative to describe things that are so crazy? Like, how do they know these details about what's happened to them? It's real.
So my thing is then, so I know we're completely off topic,
I know,
but I'm just intrigued.
We're going to come back.
So, for example, with ghosts, so obviously they're dead, but they haven't passed over. So what's the situation there?
I think they're demons. I don't believe in ghosts. I think it's demons. Really? Yeah, I don't think... Where are you just lingering on earth? What? It's demons?
Because some people are like, they have that unjust death done to them, innit?
It's demons. This is my opinion, though. Yeah. I don't know how much... I don't know too much about it, but I just know that it's either you're in heaven or you're in hell. You can't... What is a ghost? That's a demon. Are you just lingering where?
You're choking people.
And choking people.
No, that's true. Why do you want to trick someone?
It's demons. Yeah. And have you heard about familiar spirits as well? Like demons imitate themselves to like a past family member. To try and imitate what they would have done. It's demons. That's not a ghost. What is a ghost? It's devil's angels.
But I watched a TikTok, right? It's probably gone viral now. So I think I saw it last week, where those like street interviews. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's a street interview, and the guy's like, "Oh my god, like this dude doesn't have like one thing of his glasses," and he said, "Yeah, I had a seizure last week from like it's an effect from my death the year before. So basically, he had a tumor or something in his brain, and it basically killed him. So he went to the hospital, he died, and he said that there was just nothing." And it was very peaceful. And I'm like, wow. Mm-hmm. And then he said he came back to life, and he said that he struggled with the concept of being alive again. I'm like, I don't blame you. Imagine you're peaceful and then you come back to COVID and inflation and everything. But it got me thinking just about the different things of death. Do you know what I mean?
But I've heard different stories. I've heard people
that thing of
a whole experience of them seeing themselves in the hospital, seeing everybody around them, and people confirm that these things happened, and that person was in coma. And I've heard a lot of stories. There's different experiences.
It's crazy.
I know, but let's forget.
Let's go back to transactional.
Yeah, friendships, transactional friendships. Yeah.
What do you have to say?
This death thing is scary. It's scary.
What do you have to say?
No, all I wanted to say was more like, if you're a person that's having that, you have that type of like relationship with people where you're only getting things when you give them, you're not gonna get much. Especially, I've heard. I keep going back to this birthday present thing, but it's a big deal. I've heard people talk about like, especially guys, like. Nah, really? I don't give because they don't give me. And I'm like, have you ever started? Like, who's gonna start this chain?
No, literally, no. That's so true.
You don't give because, but have you ever given your friends anything? But they don't give me. But who's going to start then? Like, if you don't give them, how are you expecting? And that even comes to even just in life in general, like being like expecting people to help you with things. Like, you're not a person that's very helpful. You're not a person that's always around, but yet you want people to, like. You can't expect things that you don't give.
No,
but
not at
also,
all.
Even if you do give, don't be too entitled to think that
you deserve
everything because you should just do things because you want to do things. Like, going back to our topic about the 50-50 thing, splitting things in half. Like, to me, I feel like that relationship, it will become very robotic, and the natural flow of the relationship wouldn't be there. Because if you're only doing, like, it's like, oh, he does this, I do that. There's times you want to do something, but you're almost suppressing your urge.
Because you've got that deal.
Because he hasn't done it, so I'm not going to do it. But you want to do it. Just do it. Like, if you want to cook over there. Oh, because if you work, you came back tired and you feel like cooking, mate, cook.
Just cook.
Don't be like, no, because I worked, and if he's at home, he can cook. If you want to do something, it makes life so much easier.
It does.
Just be a person,
and you're going to be at peace. Because imagine just having that thought in your head just all day. Oh, when I come home, like, do you know what I mean? It's just
I think the whole transactional thing is just so long. Even like family, I have family members that are like that, and I'm so sorry, I'm not close to them. You can't be close to people that are only coming to you
for something.
Like, imagine knowing that this person's only friends with me because of what I can give them.
Or
that's not a genuine friendship.
In the family thing, where it's like expect something from you, but they just never, I mean, obviously it's what we're talking about. They just expect something from you because it's family, but they never want to give. And it's just like, no, I think with certain things there's principle. Yeah, we're family, yeah, we're blood, but at the end of the day, if you're handling a certain situation wrongly, or you're not someone that's always willing to give, or when it comes to asking you for a favor, you've always got,
oh, you're so gay.
You've always got some kind of excuse, and then when nobody does a thing for you, you all of a sudden want to be making up noise, doing crocodile.
I think the biggest thing in family is the entitlement. Like, family members are so entitled. It's like,
oh my days.
For some reason, they feel like they joined God to create you in the womb.
It's like Eli,
because
he'll be like, so let's say there's food, I've cooked food, yeah, and everyone's sitting down, and he comes down and says, oh, where's my food? It's there. Yeah, but like, are you not going to serve it to me? I said, sorry? Am I maid? He's like, yeah, but you're my sister, you're meant to serve it. Sorry? I said, you see you. I've actually cut off your dreads.
I'm guessing his hands is broken, clearly.
And I asked him, so your hands are now broken? No, but you're meant to. And I remember this one time, you know how you talk about me and they just... He kept going on about me serving him, and even my mum was like, "Hey, just go sit down and eat." So no,
the whole time, the whole time they've been talking, you could have eaten half of the food. In peace. Just sit down and eat the damn food. It's you have hands. Nah,
I can't be bothered. Actually,
the entitlement of family members is crazy. Like, because you've been brought to this world and you happen to be in the same family as them. I didn't choose this, or
no. I
came here and saw you. You saw me.
I looked at you, you looked at me.
With friendships, you actually make a conscious effort to choose your friends.
Yeah, that's true.
You feel like you're entitled to what exactly?
The older I've gotten, it's made me realise that some of these aunties and uncles, they're not as fun as...
I saw a story on TikTok of this girl, African, and her dad has not really been in her life for like years. He was there in like early years, but she's older now. She's got a kid. Long story short, he only called her randomly after many years asking for money.
Yeah, that one.
And then she was like, she's been going through a lot herself, and she's had to like bring herself back up and financially help herself. And she was very confused. She's like, why should I give you anything? Because I need to help myself. And his reasoning was, when you were younger, I took care of you, so now it's your turn to take care of me.
Going back to transaction as your father.
Going back to transactional relationships. So in his head, because he took care of her when she was a child,
because he birthed her.
Yeah, because he did that when she was a child. Now that she's older, she has to pay him back, basically.
And you have to take care of me.
Not caring about her situation. He didn't care.
I could put in a care home. How dare... No, okay, I don't know if that was a bit problematic. Yeah, but no, and there's so many things, and I see it especially on Twitter, and I always see it with Black Americans. I don't know what I don't know what going on over there with you people, but it's always a thing of like... It's always a thing of like, oh, I put a roof over your head, or I give you clothes, so you should... And it's like, but that's your duty as a parent. It baffles me when parents have this same transactional relationship with their kids, because it's like, you are meant to be like... If I am you, I didn't ask to be here.
100%.
You did your and I came to be, right? And so
you did your That's what you did.
You did your dirty thing, and then I was the winner, and I came.
Exactly.
Right? So now it's your duty as a parent to look after me. This isn't a thing of like, especially when like
Express it.
Especially when it gets to the point where the kids are like, let's say in their 20s, and they're still living with their parents, and they're like, well, you need to start paying rent now because I did this, I did that. You need to start. It's your child.
To be fair, when you're 20, you're not really a child. But if
but in the perspective of, I'm still your child.
Yeah, I feel like everything's okay. To an extent, if you're not working, then fair enough. But if you are working, then if your family's asking for help, then it's reasonable to...
No, sometimes they don't need help. They just want money in their pocket.
Oh, that's different. That's what I'm saying. If they don't need the help and they're just doing it because they feel like you're already an adult, I don't know, it's a bit weird.
Yeah, like, why?
But I feel like it's quite sad to see when parents take that mentality of transactional relationship with their kids. And it's like they say things like, oh, but when you were young, I did all this. And you're thinking, but... that's what you had to do, because if you didn't do that, I wouldn't survive. Like,
no, literally.
Do you want to die?
No, literally.
You need to take care of me.
If you didn't do that right now, you would not be asking me for money.
Literally, you need to, like, those things that you did is what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to ask for help with humility.
Yeah, like, listen, darling.
Can you please help? Not,
yeah,
I did this for you, so you have to do it back to me.
And then some parents wonder why their kids, when they're financially stable and able to move out and whatever, they don't want to talk to them.
Oh, they don't want to come back home.
And they
leave their house for years and they don't want to come back, and you're thinking, why do you want to visit your family? When you have a family that's always giving and taking, why would you want to be around that environment? When you always feel like, if I don't do anything, then they're not going to do anything back for me. There's even girls that, if they don't contribute with certain things, that their moms would actually ignore them. Really? And not talk to them for not talk to them, because it's like, I've asked you for this and you haven't done it, so I must be to you. So it's like almost like even like cutting the communication because you haven't done what I asked you to do. There's a toxic family out there, man.
I'm scared for you guys. I'll be praying for you.
It's really bad. So it's like this transactional thing. Please stop it. Because please, I'm tired. Because we're thinking it's affecting relationship, but this is a virus. It's affecting the whole world.
It's a pandemic. I think I don't know. This is my opinion, but I feel like it's probably gotten even worse now. Maybe because I'm an adult and I have possession of money, but it might have gotten worse because I feel like the value of money has increased in recent years. In terms of like, you just need to have money, or there's just something about money compared to when we were growing up. There's just more value to it, and I feel like it's gotten worse because of that. Because now transactional doesn't just mean I do this for you, you do this for me. A lot of it now includes money. So I feel like it's gotten worse with money now, and it's not nice.
I even hear a lot of stories. Even like going back to family, I'm so sorry. It's not like anything happened to me, guys. It's just a
from
story.
Other people's experiences.
Yeah, it's just stories are just coming to my head. But like, I'm just thinking of like, when someone moves to the UK now, like especially us being like immigrant kids, and we see our family, our parents having to like pay and send money back home. I get it, it's okay, but then it gets to a point where they're doing it not because they want to do it anymore. It's more like because you're a family and you've gone to the UK, so you have to do this. Like, this is your duty. No matter, even if you're not, I don't know what you're going through and what's happened to you in the UK. Because you're in the UK and you're my family, you have to send me money regardless of what your situation is. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. What? Did you pay for my flight? Well, my parents' flight. Did you pay for their flight? No.
Did you pay for their rent to be settling here?
And even if you did pay for the flight, you should be a nice person. Pay
Why don't you get on the flight? Yeah. So you don't have to be asking people for money. That's actually rude, you know?
It's very cheeky.
Oh my days.
It's everyone asking, auntie what? Leave the auntie alone. Bloody hell, man.
No, I remember my mum once sent money for, I don't know who, I just had cousin, their laptop for uni. Now I get it, obviously the standard of education and living and whatever in Congo is not the same here. They can't just afford a MacBook, whatever. But I'm like, are you even first cousin? Are you even, we talk every now and then, we message now and then? I just know you as a relative that's gone into uni.
I feel like asking is not a problem. It's the entitlement. There's a way that they behave. Yeah. It's like, how can you not help me? Why you not? It's like, I don't have to do anything for you. I'm so sorry. I don't have to do anything.
Not at all.
And I'm doing it because I feel my parents, not me. I think not my parents, the people's parents. They're doing it because they're nice people. Yeah. But that entitlement thing really irks me. It actually makes me so irritated.
I have heard a person tell their mum many times to it's sometimes you just don't have it. Maybe you've got extra bills to pay. Maybe the kids are going back to school, so you have to spend more money. Like, there's so many different things that come up on a monthly, weekly basis where you have to spend more than you intended. So now for you to come and be like, yeah, well, if...
they're only checking up on you because they want to ask you for money.
Literally.
So it's like you never ever feel like there's a genuine care for your well-being and how you are. Every time I see the panic in some parents' faces when they get a call from back home because they know
there was a period of time.
There's always gonna be a problem. There's always something happening.
There was a period of time when my mom was completely ignoring my grandma's calls because she just knew. She's like, I'm every single time you call me.
Can you just call me and ask me how are you? What's happening?
How's the family? How's the kids?
Every time you're asking that, I know there's something else coming after that.
Yeah, like, it's really bad.
Auntie, the roof, our dog hasn't eaten,
The dog?
Yeah, man.
Not the dog, starving.
There's always something. There's always something. It's
really
not
bad.
It just creates a very unnatural relationship.
Yeah, and it just makes you not just eager to want to, like... And let's say let's say the family member's just been asking money for whatever. And then let's say they're actually in a dire situation. Now imagine if you in your heart, you've mentally clocked out.
Mm-hmm. Because you think that every time they're asking, sometimes you start to think maybe they're just lying.
At the end of the day, guys, the lesson learned is that just if you are able to give, again, money, whatever, but if you're able to give, if you're able to do, if you're able to provide, do it out of the goodness of your heart. Do not be keeping a tally, a book or whatever of, this person owes me this, so if we can't do, like, no. Because
you're going to live a very sad life.
No, you are.
If you live that way.
And once enough people have experienced that, and there's a common kind of like general consensus about you, you're not going to have that many people wanting to be around you.
You might actually do, but it's not genuine.
Yeah.
And if they have the chance to choose somebody else, they will choose someone else because they only with you because they're getting something from you, not because they genuinely like you. That's my point. It's like people, especially like rich people, which is why you see a lot of rich people are actually lonely because they have a lot of people around them, but they feel lonely because everybody around them is only with them because of what they can get from them.
Yeah.
Like if you're the type of person, that's the type of environment you create for yourself where you only expect to take and you only give and you expect, and that's the type of person you are. You're not gonna have genuine people around you. It's just what it is. No, because everyone's gonna be wanting to take from you as well.
Yeah,
the same way you're taking from them.
It's really not nice. I think. I think for me, it's just from the Christian perspective. Like, it baffles me
that Christians still do this.
Yeah, because we look at the example. There's so many like just Jesus. Just follow the example of Jesus. You know, he didn't go on the cross and say, "Wow, as long as you guys come to me, then I'm gonna drop." No, I mean, obviously, I guess that.
Why are you even shouting? I don't understand. You could describe Jesus in such a calm way. I don't think Jesus is like that.
Okay. I mean, obviously, that's the whole perspective, like the whole, not perspective, what's the intention of him dying for us so we can, But he didn't do it as in, wow, you know what I mean? Like, he just gave freely.
I think it's so interesting how even as Christians, sometimes we ignore the little things and we focus on the big sins. Like, oh my God, it says we shouldn't lie, or we shouldn't kill people. But then if you're a selfish person, that's bad.
Yeah, don't be selfish. It's
like,
not nice.
It doesn't even work because as a Christian body, we can't be selfish. The whole purpose of Christianity is to be selfless because you want people to be saved. You want to do things that's going to contribute to people's salvation. Like, being selfish doesn't work in that environment.
And I think what some people don't tend to realise is that, okay, maybe they might think, oh, selfishness, whatever, it might not be that big of a deal. But there's other things that can come into it that are also sin. So selfishness, it can come from you. I don't know, what can be connected to
it can create hatred, because then pride, because when somebody hasn't done what you want them to do because you did it for them, you start to hate them in your heart because you're thinking, how dare that person not give me back when I was there for them. But you were meant to be there for them at that time, that it was important for you to be there for them.
It can also lead you to lying because you can be like, well, because that person hasn't given, you know what, I just can't give it, even though you have exactly. There's just so many things that can come from, even if it's not that big of a deal, there's so many sins that can come from that. So guys, just have a genuine intentional, if you feel like, because don't get me wrong, I've definitely had moments where someone might ask for something or whatever, and in my heart I'm like, I don't know if I want to give. Is that okay? Is that a bad thing?
I don't think it's bad. That's different. That's like, even the Bible talks about giving from a willing heart. You're not supposed to do things being forced. The problem with transactional relationships, they force themselves to do things because they're expecting something back. It's like, if you don't want to do it, don't do it. Because I'm annoyed. Don't get me angry.
She's gonna turn to the Hulk. You're wearing green as well.
How does that know you're gonna do that?
I'm so predictable, guys. Anyway, to round it all up, guys, whether you are a believer or not, this doesn't have to apply as a believer. It's just, I'm only linking it to that because I've learned a lot and my heart has changed in certain situations. But it doesn't matter what situation it is, never look at it as if, I think it might be a bit different. No, unless a person says to you, I think it's just LinkedIn, it's coming after. Oh no, it's a lot. Okay. Da 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 da.
She's asking for earring back. I don't know. I have to check. I Have you sent me 10 messages for even... Anyways, carry on.
I know what I'm saying. Yeah, I think, honestly, you will find yourself having genuine connections, genuine friendships, genuine experiences when you just give from a heart because you want to give.
Yeah.
Like, just don't ever do things, tit for tat.
Yeah.
No. If you can't give, if you know that you're going to catch yourself holding on to something, or like I said myself, sometimes I just don't have the heart to give, just don't do it. It's going to save you a lot of trouble, a lot of hassle. It's going to give you peace and just move on.
And also, just in line with what you're saying, just to summarize my point as well, especially with Christians as well, if you're a person that believes in paying for your blessings, and it doesn't work that way, mate. Give because you want to give, and leave it for God to bless you and how He wants to bless you.
Amen.
Not how you choose and how you believe He should bless you. Yeah. That's the problem. We have no control over how things should come back to us. We do things because we're doing it from a willing and a heart that is there to serve God. Like we're meant to come from a place of service, not a place from receiving.
Yeah.
We shouldn't, like, having that mindset of receiving is like working backwards, because receiving is almost like the end goal, but really giving is the blessing, where the blessing's at, because if you're able to give, it means you have enough.
Yeah.
So giving is where it's at. If you're a person, give. And worry about
I will put my sort code and account number, 50k, thank you.
And don't worry about how you're going to receive it.
Yeah.
And leave that to God. But anyways, even in friendships, family, whatever it is, if you find that you have someone around you that's like that, I would say just be mindful and don't fall into that trap of
just giving,
because then if you realize that they always give because they want something back, then you just have to be careful of how you maneuver that relationship. I wouldn't say stop the relationship. I just feel like you just have to be careful with how you relate with them, because this person's calling me. Why are you calling me?
Anyway, guys, Favor's a busy, popular girl.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you guys next week. Bye.
Anyways,
don't see it anyway.
It's a short video, guys. Sorry.